Okay, guys. So I hope everybody finish biggest part of what we need to do, and eventually is already ready. So we'll proceed with what I promised. Indeed, it would be how to connect our two infrastructure small networks together with a VPN. Okay, so the VPN, we will create something which is commonly known as a site-to-site VPN, meaning between the firewalls, and it will be a tunnel which will be, it, it will be persistent most of the time. So we're not gonna do anything about it. It will be there all the time. So basically, we will be able to access from one network the other. Of course, you could change this behavior by applying some rules, access controls, and so on and so forth on the firewalls. So I have already my two sites on. Here's my first firewall. It has the IP address of the one interface 192.168.88.231. My number two firewall has IP address of 192.168.88.230. So one IP difference, as you see. I have my web servers, which are in the both into the DMZ. Okay, so this one, both of them they're there, and I have my domain controllers on both sides and DNS servers. And as you see, it shows that actually I'm having a connection to the internet at the moment. And if I ping from the if I do the ping from my web servers, which are in my DMZ, since we applied some rules there, I expect indeed to be able to get to Google if everything is fine. Of course, there might be some. Well, maybe I don't put it here. This one particularly I didn't do it, but that's not something which is very important at the moment. Yeah, I need to do the rules here. For the other one, for sure, it will work. That's not very important at the moment, actually. It is just for the exercise we to know how to do the rules. So let's do here in Google. Yeah, this one would work. It is. So um, let's concentrate now how we're gonna do the how we're gonna create our VPN tunnel. So when we're creating VPN tunnel site to site, you could use more than one, of course, firewall, not only one. One though supposed to be always the server, so it will act as a server. The other one or ones they will act, or it will act as in our case, it will act as a client. So we will do it. OpenSense actually has very nice interface for this. So I'm going to choose my network one to be the server there. So we'll access it 192.168. Let me just double check the address of the one. 100.254. Yeah, that's the one. We will accept our certificate here. Login. The next step is to go to the VPN. Open VPN. That's the protocol we're gonna see. We're gonna try. If you see, the IPsec is also here. We could try IPsec. It's a little bit more complex, but it's much more robust, and I would say it's mostly used in the production. The OpenVPN is free for medium, small size home Soho environments. It's the best. Very secure. What I'll do here, you see now I have at least two options here, servers and clients. And we said this one will be the server. So I'll click on the servers and I will say add. Okay, I'll say add. Now, I'll describe it. That will be my site-to-site OpenVPN server. Okay. Now, we could choose all of these availabilities. The easiest to implement at the moment is the shared key. And I'll show it to you. It's very easy to be done. Most of the time, the VPN protocol works on UDP, but there are cases where you could use TCP as well. I'm going to choose even UDP4. I don't want to even use the UDP6. So This one is about the way it works, so most of the time we use the turn here. Now the interfaces, I'm going to choose the one interface because that's where I'm going to apply my rules for. They will be applied actually automatically. The local port by default is 1194. It's very good idea to be changed. For now, for simplicity, I'm going to skip it. Now you see the share key, the cryptographic settings, the share key, it's supposed to be automatically generated. That will be the key which will be exchanged between this one and the other computer. So we're gonna save it now. This algorithm, I would go a little bit maybe further. SHA-256 I'm gonna choose. There will be no hardware crypto acceleration. Now we need to choose the default, the tunnel network. So the network through which VPN goes most of the time is a third one, and it's not supposed to be the same as neither of the applied networks here. So as you see, for all of my interfaces, I'm using something like 192, 168, 150, and so on and so forth. The local network also is 192, 168. And so just to be in the secure site, I'll choose 172. I'll say here 20, and I'll say 100.0, and you do it this way. Okay, there will be no IP version 6. I'm not going to redirect the gateway. The local network for this one is 192, 168. I just noticed what is written in LAN 1 here. So .100.024. As you see, you write down the network. The network parts, you don't put the specific IP addresses. And the remote network, let's double check what it is. The LAN network on the other side would be, give me a sec to open it here. I'm not in the right spot. I need to click on this one again, maybe to minimize. I'm gonna need to stop just for a sec. So as you see on the other firewall, I have 192, 168, 200. So that would be my remote network. So it will be the remote 192.168.200.0.24. And how many concurrent connections I would allow, I don't do this at the moment. For everything you could see explanation if you remember, and if you would like to see all of them, you click here full help and you see everything. So you could navigate and do something more for you. Type service duplicate connection disable. We're gonna go out. We were not gonna do anything here. Okay, so that would be the easiest way to be done. I'll say save. Now I need to see what's the key. So what I need to do here is you see, if I click on this, I will disable this. And from green it will become black. So I don't delete it, but it's not in use anymore. Well, I need it on, obviously. I'll click it back. The other thing is to delete it completely. If I would like to duplicate and just change some stuff, it's here. And what I need at the moment is the first one, which is the edit. So here, now the share key, it has been automatically generated. So I'm going to leave it here. And I'm going to open another, I'll say here 192, 168, but this time I'm going to say here 200. That's the other network. I'll say root. I'll put my password here. And then I'll go again to VPN. I'll open my OpenVPN. I'll go this time in clients. Okay, this one will be a client. Okay, I'll say add. And description, I'm going to say peer-to-peer, or actually site-to-site. OpenVPN client. And because I don't know how many clients will be, I actually will say client 1, because there will be some. I'll choose the same peer-to-peer share key. You see now I have only two choices if I would like to do site-to-site tunnel. So the share key, protocol UDP, device mode, we know we leave an interface, we choose here the 1, 2 in that case. Now, that's the interesting part, the remote server. So that's my remote server, 192.168.88.231, so that's what I need to put here. So 192, I think I click site. So here it is. So say 192.168 dot 88.231. So that's my server. It's the one address, and the port, if you remember, was, if you don't remember, of course, you could come here back and just see 1194. So we do 1194 here. If you would have a proxy which will filter your network in a way, so you would have used it. The local port, you could use something different, but if you don't do anything here, actually it will by default choose 1194. So here it is. Set this option if you would like to bind to a specific port. Leave this blank or enter 0 for a random. So it will take random dynamic port here. If I would have username and password, I would have used it here. And then the shared key. So now I already have the shared key. Here it is. It's already here. So what I need actually is just to say not automatically generated. I have it already. So I'll check it. And this empty space will appear. Then I'm gonna come here. I'll click inside, say Control A to choose everything, Control C to copy, and I'll come back, click inside, Control V to paste it. Now, in the real life, obviously, you need to send an email or SMS with this thing, and the person who is in charge is supposed to put it there. So be sure you do it securely. Okay? If somebody you don't want to access the network has this, no problem to access it. So be sure that will be only for you and the people who will be joining. So it's very important the encryption algorithm to be the same as on the other side. So you see here, we've chosen AES 128 CBC, so we need to be sure this one is the same. The other one is SHA 256, well, we need to change this one to SHA 256, otherwise it won't work, guys. No hardware encryption. Now, the same network, of course, 172.20.100.024. We're just gonna check it. 172.20.100.024. The remote network in my case is now 192. The other one, 168. 100.024. And as you see, there is no local network. They don't care about this actually. And basically, we're kind of done. Okay, so that's the default and the most fast settings we could do. Here's the server. In both places, I need to see the remote host. Now, before we do this, actually, we need to go to the firewall. We need to go to the rules here, and we need to go to the to the one rule, and we need to add this thing here. Once you're done, you will be able to ping from DC1, DC2, and vice versa. Now, once again, what I did finally before doing the pings on both firewalls, I went there on the firewall rules. I went to OpenVPN, so when you go to rules, you're going to see the OpenVPN there. I allowed anything to go through. That's the less secure option, but we just do it to see the VPN tunnel on. Now, we did the same on the LAN. Once again, it's really bad option. We're doing it only for the LAN to see it. Then we could disable it, or we could just apply the UDP so we to see it working on this. And UDP on this specific port, we don't need actually to do anything else. And on the DMZ as well. So I did this on both. Firewalls. So what I did is just click on the interface, add, and just add everything. So that's what I did on all the interfaces, DMZ, LAN, and OpenVPN. And afterwards, when I go once again and go VPN, OpenVPN, and navigate to the connection status, indeed I'm seeing now everything connected. So that's my one interface of the other host. That's the virtual address we're using to access the hosts, and I see that is up, and there are connection there, and the same thing here. I'm seeing the opposite. So that's how the side-to-side VPN works. So that's how it's supposed to be connected.